Honoured guests, welcome one and all to another Monster Week. This year, the event hosted by both Pointy Hat and Ginny D is all about Fey creatures, and as someone with ADHD, I love Fey creatures. I don't think that's actually the defining feature. I just like how chaotic the plane is and how they have their own set of rules which you can basically make up as a DM. I very much appreciate the freedom that offers, and got me thinking about how it is that I can show that off. I have moved away from homebrew content for my channel and generally doing builds and things, and while I was considering doing a Fae-themed character build, I decided instead to go back to homebrew and to convert one of my favourite Magic the Gathering characters into a D&D stat block. So without any further ado, I am now going to present to you my take on Oko, Fey Lord. Oko, as seen here, being all hot and stuff, was once a powerful creature on the Eldraine plane. It's a storybook plane. You don't need to worry about it too much. I'm not going to go into the lore of the creature himself. For our purposes, Oko is a Fey Lord now. Oko is a mighty shapeshifter and one whose charm is matched only by his arrogance. He's well known among the Fey as a powerful enchanter, and having now come to rest in the domain of delight known as Lorwyn, has also taken to ensnaring wandering adventurers. While he'll always lean towards a good time over violence, any who cross him end up as elks in his enthrall, if they're lucky. In the game, he is a card that can often shapeshift any creature into an elk, which is a 3/3 creature. We have an elk stat block, so that's nice. And can also exchange control of things. This led me to some fun experimentation with the stat block, and while I initially designed this as being a CR25 creature, I have lowered it because otherwise no one's going to use it. So, I present you the actual stat block. Oko Fey Lord is a medium Fey and is chaotic. Just chaotic. An AC of 20, 198 hit points, a plus 11 to initiative, 50-foot walking speed. Has solid stats. Strength is his weakest stat by far. Is good dexterity, great charisma, good constitution, and solid intelligence and wisdom as well. In terms of his skills, he's great at he's much better at persuasion than he is at deception, so keep that in mind, and his performance is obviously great. He's also fairly insightful, but not fantastically. Saving throws, con, wisdom, and charisma. They all fit for me and how I envision this creature. Immunity to charmed, frightened, and unconscious. He has true sight of 30 feet, dark vision of 120 feet, and a passive perception of 18. Languages, common, sylvan, and telepathy 90 feet. Let's get on to the traits, because that's where things get good. Oko has perfect mimicry, so he can mirror any medium or smaller creature he has seen, irrelevant of the configuration of their limbs, can mimic their appearance and speech perfectly as if by their alter self spell. So it's a buffed version of the alter self spell, really. Cruel Charm. All creatures that end their turn within 15 feet of Oko must succeed on a DC 19 charisma saving throw or be charmed by Oko. Cruel Charm gives Oko an emanation, a 15-foot emanation from himself, where all creatures within it must succeed on a DC 19 charisma saving throw or be charmed by him. I know it's normally a wisdom saving effect to be charmed, but I like it being charisma for this creature. So, tough. The creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Some creatures in his enthrall might choose to be charmed. So I think most of the time if you're putting Oko in as an encounter, you're going to want him surrounded by sycophants and elephants. And creatures. Sorry, elephants and sycophants is just fun to say. So things like other elk, which would suggest that he has already taken them and polymorphed them. This might be a great way to include him in your campaigns, actually. Maybe a friend of the party has been kidnapped and turned into an elk because they fell foul of Oko, they made a mistake, they made a deal they couldn't keep up with. While Oko is pretty solid in a fight, I think he's generally going to fit being an NPC that the players interact with and make deals with, things of that sort. But you are the DM. You can choose how to use this creature. If you do want to throw down with Oko, it makes 3 dagger attacks as his multi-attack, or 1 dagger attack, and can use its spellcasting feature once as well. For its weapon, the dagger has a 60-foot reach, as he can throw it, and it will teleport back, plus 11 to hit, and 20 damage, which is 4d6 plus 6. So it's not a huge amount of damage, it deals force damage. However, any creatures charmed by Oko will take double damage automatically. Obviously, this will make the charm wear off, because that's how that works. But it's a good way for him to potentially benefit from the charm. He also has a few different spells with a DC 19 save. He has Suggestion, Animal Messenger, Speak with Animals, and Silvery Barbs at will. Obviously, Silvery Barbs is only as a reaction, so while he could take that on his turn, because monsters are not subjected to the same rules that player characters are, it is still going to eat up his reaction. 3 times a day each, you have Greater Invisibility, Confusion, Mislead, Mirror Image, and Mass Suggestion. This all plays in nicely to his whole subterfuge, illusion, and enchantment vibes. And then 1 day each, he can do Power Word Fortify, because high-level characters hit very hard, Illusory Dragon, because it's cool, Power Word Kill, because he's mean, and Plane Shift, because he doesn't want to die. Bonus actions are Friend of the Forest, in which he casts Polymorph on a creature within range with a Wisdom save of DC 19. The charmed creatures will fail this automatically, and creatures that fail become an elk for 1 minute with no concentration required. The creature, however, can repeat the saves at the end of each of its turns, so it's a modified version of Polymorph. This is the best way I've thought of to mimic that elk transformation from the game itself. And then for the swapping of creatures, Oko can choose to swap the souls of 2 creatures within 60 feet of himself. A creature targeted by this must succeed in a DC 19 Charisma saving throw, or be soul swapped until the end of Oko's next turn. A player controls the body inhabited by their soul, having access only to the abilities of that body. This allows him to, if he is next to an elk, swap control of the elk and the player character, at which point the DM would play the player character for a turn, and the elk would be played by the player. This is an exceedingly cruel thing to do, but it fits nicely with that ability, I think, from the card game, from Magic the Gathering, and I am never above being cruel to my players. I give them lots of items, they'll still love me, it's fine. Reaction is Would You Mind, which is when targeted by an attack, he can swap places with any charmed creature within 60 feet, with that creature then becoming the target. And then legendary actions, he has 3 or 4 in his lair. He can cast any of his at-will spells. He can cast Misty Step, but only when bloodied. I like the idea of him putting up a facade of bravery until he gets fairly hurt, at which point he'll start using this teleport spell to get away from people. He can also use natural defenses, in which he commands all charmed creatures to use their reaction to attack targets of his choice. Do you know what? I've edited it, I've added Charm Person at level 2 for him, because I think he needs another way to charm things. Anyway, I already did this video once. This is a whole redo of the video now that I've changed the stat blocks. As I said, my view of this creature is that you could use it as an NPC your players interact with, and then if they ever end up in a fight with him, that would be bad. Perhaps they could also ally with him if the Fae are facing off against something, or if Lorwyn is struggling with the tumultuous nature of the plane itself, or creatures trying to invade. Maybe this could be a friend to them as well, and then you can show them what he can do as an ally, which could be quite good fun. How you use it is entirely up to you. I really like the stronger Fae characters and the unique effects that they can have, and I thought this was the most interesting one to transfer from MTG into D, and it's something I might do more of at some point. Who knows, with how frequently I change my mind about what YouTube videos I do. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and please make sure you go and check out all of the other incredible Monster Week videos. There are sure to be so many fantastic entries this year, as there have been both of the previous years with Kraken Week and Dragon Week. And make sure you give those YouTubers a subscribe, a like, share their videos, really make the most of all the wonderful people that you will be watching over the next few days. But that is it from me. Do make sure that you take care. I hope that you are well and continue to do well, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you whenever I next see you. Goodbye.